Hello friends, I am Ram and today I am going to be telling about SLV and ASLV launch vehicles which are of India. So hope you like and enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe. So friends, before we get into the video, let us talk about in one of India's satellite launch stations. One of them is Satish Dhawan Space Center Sriharikota range. I'm underlining it right here. Satish Dhawan Space Center is located in Shar, Sriharikota in the Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh in India. It is also known as the spaceport of India and is responsible for providing launch-based infrastructure. Launch-based infrastructure means the infrastructure used to launch rockets. This center has two launch pads and a third one is going to be built soon. In these two launch pads are where rocket launching operations using the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle and the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle are carried out. This center has many facilities which include solid propellant processing, also means the making of solid fuels, and static testing of solid motors means testing of the solid fuels in boosters. Friends, these are boosters. So let us start discussing about India's first experimental satellite launch vehicle. Friends, you might have wondered why they have kept experimental, because these were not developmental, so they did not use it for any purposes except for improving their satellites. The Satellite Launch Vehicle 3, also known as the SLV-3, was used all solid fuel. That means it did not use any liquid fuel, just solid fuel. And it had four stages mainly. This vehicle was heavy at about 17,000 kgs or 17 tons, and it had a height of 22 meters. It was also capable of placing 40 kgs class payload, which means payload stands for the thing which you want to send to space. So that means it could carry 40 kgs of what you send to space, and it could carry that only to LEO or low Earth orbit. This is an important word, LEO. SLV-3 was successfully launched on 1980 from Sriharikota range, now known as Satish Dhawan Space Center, and it launched RS-1, the first satellite of the Rohini series, and it placed it in low Earth orbit, also known as LEO. Once it was placed in orbit, India became the sixth member of spacefaring nations. That means it was the sixth country to launch a satellite into low Earth orbit. SLV-3 also used a predetermined trajectory. That means it wasn't controlled by ground. It already knows where to go. The first experimental flight happened in 1979, but it was not fully successful. It was partially successful, means it only completed some of the mission's objectives. So apart from the 1980 launches, there were two more in 1981 and 2 years after that in 1983, carrying Rohini satellites with remote sensors. Remote sensing sensors means the satellites could take pictures from all the way in space. The experimental SLV-3 project paved the way to more advanced launch vehicle projects such as the ASLV or Augmented Satellite Launch Vehicle. It was very important. And two developmental launch vehicles known as PSLV and GSLV. Both of them we'll discuss in our next video. After SLV-3 came the ASLV project, which was an upgrade to the SLV-3. SLV-3 had many differences with ASLV. I'll write the SLV-3 differences over here and ASLV differences over here. So friends, you all know, as discussed previously, it had 17 tons of weight. So you can see there was 17 tons. So here also there was 17 tons. And ASLV, in the other hand, had 40 tons. That's big extra weight. And ASLV had 24 meters of height, while SLV-3 had 22. And ASLV could take 150 kgs of payload to 400 kilometers of orbit, which is also that of LEO. So SLV-3 could carry 40, while ASLV could carry 150 kgs. That is a big improvement, almost 4 times that of SLV-3. The full form of ASLV is known as Augmented Satellite Launch Vehicle, as I will underline over here. And this was a program by ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. And this was made with the experience gained from SLV-3 missions. And ASLV launch vehicle proved to be a very low cost, and it did so much research that it would help in future launch vehicles. Under the ASLV program, 4 developmental flights were conducted. These were not experimental, these were developmental. The first in 1987, 1 year after that in 1988, the next one happened. Then the third developmental flight happened with ASLV-D3 on 1992, and 2 years after that happened on 1994. The payload ASLV-D3 was carrying was the SROSS-C, which had 106 kgs of payload, and ASLV-D4 carried SROSS-C2, an upgrade to SROSS-C. Both of them weighed 106 kgs. So both of them did many research and helped in paving the way to PSLV rockets and GSLV rockets. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe.